don't really think about, especially when you're a smaller creator, you got to look at the outliers. Too many people will look at the big dogs and try and emulate what the big dogs are doing, but like you can't. A lot of big dogs get super lazy, so their content they're doing only is successful because of who they are. But when you find an outlier, so somebody that's like literally like 1,000, 2,000 subs on YouTube, but they've got video with 50,000, 100,000 views, okay, that's something that you should be looking at. And I was speaking to one of my really close friends about like this, and he had it like, we have kids, his kids is just a touch older than mine, and one thing that he said really resonated with me. Basically he's like, how can I tell my kids to follow their dreams if I never did? I was like, damn. It's one of those things that if you're starting out, you should start out where you think you can last the longest. I look at a lot of streamers and I'm like, man, you guys are doing it all wrong. Every streamer should be doing some sort of VOD content, whatever that is. Utilize the hell out of TikTok and YouTube Shorts. People aren't utilizing YouTube Shorts and they're not doing it right. Too many people, YouTube Shorts, here's the secret tea. YouTube Shorts really favor at the moment.
All right, everybody, welcome to the Creator Dashboard. I'm here with Aaron Aztec, who is a content creator who's kind of a bit everywhere and probably, I think, at this point, one of the biggest content creators I've interviewed on this podcast. And I'm very excited to dive into some of the knowledge that Aaron has got to share. So Aaron is pretty big and primarily on YouTube, doing a lot of, I guess, 100-day playthrough type videos and stuff, mainly around Arc, but I guess I don't want to take take all this away from you, Aaron. Give us tell everyone a little bit about yourself.
Yeah, so like you pretty much nailed it on the head. I predominantly make YouTube videos, 100 days videos, specifically around Ark Survival Evolved, but more so also expanding out to survival crafting type games, or like anything that really has a day-night cycle. That kind of stuff is what I'll predominantly do. But I do like to dabble in like just all types of content, just because I find making content quite fun.
Mhm.
But my bread and butter is definitely my 100 days content for sure.
Perfect. So tell me a bit about like your journey. So when did you start making videos?
Oh yeah, I think it's pretty typical of like a lot of people. But I started making videos. Like I've always kind of dabbled in it. Like if you really like dug around, you'd find videos that I made from like 2012, 2013, 2014. I made a bunch of stuff, and then I probably chilled for a bit, and then I started making gaming content maybe around 2019, 2020,
Mm-hmm.
and then yeah, around that, and then COVID hit, and then I was like, hey, I told my wife, I was like, yo, we're off, we're not working for a couple months, we're not doing anything. I was like, can we pretend that I'm a full-time YouTuber and like live that life for a little bit, and then I'll work as if I'm doing that? And she was like, all right, whatever. And then I produced my first 100 days, and here we are.
Yeah,
That
wow.
video kind of went well.
Yeah, so that was kind of like so you kind of lived the full-time YouTuber life before you actually became a full-time YouTuber.
Yeah.
And I guess COVID probably helped with that. It would have, for a lot of people, I think that would be difficult to do it, I get. But do you find that like being able to commit that time to it helped?
Massive. 100%. Yeah, that made a big difference. COVID, and it sucks, like, because COVID was a pretty terrible time for a lot of people, and it isn't great to like, I suppose, like on the flip side, there were a lot of, we call ourselves COVID creators. Like we all came out of COVID because yes, we had the time to do it.
Yep.
We like, for me, I saw someone else that for the same thing, they did 100 days in Arc, and I was like, hey, I love playing Arc, and I know how to make these kind of videos. And here's the other part too. I had been making videos before, so I had a pretty decent idea on how to edit. I wasn't professional or crazy good. I'm nowhere near as good as I am today, but I knew a little bit, and I knew enough to be able to produce a video. And because, yes, I had the time to do it because we were literally just locked at home doing nothing, like everybody. So I was like, hey, so I made a video. Yes, yeah, definitely COVID helped. Again, terrible time for a lot of people, but
yeah. I think the important thing here though was the actual video that you made though.
Yeah.
Because I think a lot of people during the COVID, and I'm the same, kind of went into the streaming side of it. And the streaming was just like heavily oversaturated, and people were growing because nobody was watching, like COVID was happening. But I think you really capitalized on it by making a video that was popular at the time, by looking at what other people were doing that was successful.
Mm.
And so I think that's probably like being able to commit the time to it is one thing, and then having the right video idea at the time that kind of helped propel it.
Yeah,
That's kind of
100%.
what I'm picking up here.
Yeah, I always wanted to do content creation as a full-time thing. And what I was looking for was what people don't really think about, especially when you're a smaller creator, I think, is you got to look at the outliers, not what like, so like too many people will look at the big dogs and try and emulate what the big dogs are doing. But like you
Yep.
can't. Like a lot of big dogs get super lazy. So their
Mm.
content they're doing only is successful because of who they are. But
Yeah.
when you find an outlier, so somebody that's like literally like 1,000, 2,000 subs on YouTube, but they've got video with 50,000, 100,000 views. Okay, that's something that you should be looking at. That like,
Mm.
why is that working? Why is that happening? That's what you should be emulating, not what freaking Mr. Beast is doing or Laser Beam or those kind of guys. Look at
Yep.
the little guy that just has a couple thousand subscribers, but it's getting thousands and thousands of views.
Yeah. I guess
That's what you look for.
I guess the good a way to look at that, because I so a lot of the big streamer creators out there, like Moist Critical and stuff like that,
Mm,
they will obviously post up a video. They don't do anything with a thumbnail and they don't do anything with a title, but it will still pop off. And that's purely because people have an expectation of what the content is going to be from them,
yeah.
and they know that they trust that that person is who they are. So they don't need to do any of that.
Mm,
If you're just trying to copy, like, create a video and post it without putting any effort into titling it or making a good thumbnail, like what is it that's going to make someone click? So I think trying to emulate people like that, it's not gonna work,
mhm.
because there's there's nothing interesting, or I guess you don't have the authority to do a video like that without a thumbnail or a title like that.
Yeah, 100%.
Yeah. And so, and this is, I guess, kind of comes back to what you're saying. Like, you look at the outliers to do the 100-day videos. One of my friends, who's a big YouTube frog, he calls himself, he just sits on YouTube. He suggested to me, do 100-day videos of something,
Mhm,
because he watches it, and that's what a lot of the little creators are doing, and are doing
mhm.
really well. And so I did a very similar thing to you. I didn't do 100 days, but I did like a challenge, a better game, and that did really well for me. So yeah, I think that's some very valid points there.
Yeah, yeah, no, that stuff definitely works.
So yeah, that's really cool, really cool start. And I think being able to commit all the time to it probably was quite good. Like, for myself and my own situations, like, I work full time, so I don't have the ability to like
Mm.
commit all that time. Do you find that that helps a lot? Like, is that something you would recommend to someone if they were in that position, or like if they were able to not work for a bit?
Yeah, if it's something that they really want to do, 100%, yeah, definitely just if you've got the time, do it. Even if you don't, I think a lot of people like do get a little because I went back to work and I
Yep.
still was working on my videos. So I went back to work for maybe like 6 months. But that was also the problem too. So I went back to work after lockdown finished,
Yep.
and then my channel was kind of popping off. And then my work were like, and I was telling everyone at work, "Hey, look, I'm getting subscribers and I'm earning money on YouTube." And they were like, "Oh my god!" And then after a few months, they were like, "You don't really want to be here, do you?" And I was like, "No,
Not really.
yeah." And I was like, "Not at all." And I was like, "But like, I need to be here because it's stable." And
Yeah.
then yeah, I was like, "I'm gonna, if like I wasn't like I was earning a little bit of money, like." Not enough to even do much with, but I was
Mm.
earning money. I thought it was amazing. But yeah, after a few months, I was in sales. I was in car sales,
Yep.
and then after a few months, like even after lockdown finished, like the car sales industry wasn't really doing super well.
No, it was
A lot of
struggling.
industries
Yeah.
weren't. So they were
Yeah.
like, "Hey, we need to start letting people go," and they were like, we're gonna let some people go, and we're gonna give you a little bit of money." And I was like, "Yeah, yeah, I'm good." Yeah, I'll do
All right, bye.
it. Yeah.
Yeah, that's good. I mean, that I guess that helped a lot. So, how did you find that transition from going from working to going to full time? Because were you getting enough from YouTube to help supplement? Not
No.
enough. Okay, so was it a bit of a struggle there?
Yeah, it was scary, but
Yeah.
I'm like really kind of I get quite headstrong and a bit
Mm.
like like if someone else can do it, I could do it.
Yep.
And like I kind of believed in myself, and I had the good support. My wife was like, all right, well, if you're gonna do it, you're gonna do it. Like, she was supportive. I had kids at the time.
Yeah.
I still have kids. I mean,
Yeah.
they're still around. um so it was a massive risk, but I did have the support. Even like my mom was quite supportive, my family were really supportive.
Yep.
I had a bit of money, and we just made goals. Like, if it doesn't work out in X amount of time, because I was 7 years as a used car salesman.
Yeah.
And 7 years is a pretty good amount of time that I could probably walk into a lot of dealerships and get a job pretty quickly.
Yep.
I had built a little bit of a reputation that I kind of knew what I was doing. Not amazing salesman or whatever, but I was decent.
Yep.
So I knew I could kind of fall back on that. Then yeah, my job got rid of me. It was scary, and I was like, yeah, we're just gonna go gung ho. But it was like, I think I gave myself 3 months, and if it doesn't work out, that's kind of the money that we had saved to be able to survive off of for 3 months.
Yep.
And then on the third month, I was like, all right, I don't think this is working out. And then I got my first ever brand deal, and then that changed everything from there.
Awesome.
And
Wow.
I think it was Raid Shadow Legends of all things too. Yeah. And that
But
was
but I guess that's probably the main thing that helped you, and it's probably, I'm guessing, the brand deal is probably what still has helped you stay.
massive,
Yeah. Okay.
massive brand deals. People can kind of guesstimate what people earn on YouTube, and yeah, you could probably guesstimate what brand deals is probably equal to what I earn on YouTube.
Right. Okay.
Yeah, yeah.
Sure.
It's been a little light last year. It's picking up now though. Got a few lined up, which is good. But yeah,
But I guess yeah, that's the tricky part. So yeah, well, that's very interesting, because I guess a lot of people whose goal is to become a full-time content creator, that's a very interesting decision to make. Like, it worked out really well for you. For a lot of people that have to, like, balance out, at what point am I earning from YouTube that I can
Mm.
drop? Do you think once you started going full-time, because you're able to commit to doing YouTube properly, like, and make more videos more frequently, that helped propel your growth as well?
Massive.
Yeah.
If you look at my channel, you can even go on like Social Blade or whatever. You'll see where I like the COVID hit, then you'll see the slip when I went back to work,
Yep.
and then you'll see when literally like the month I quit, you'll
Mhm.
see it just propel like nuts. Yeah, yeah, made a massive difference.
Yeah, that's really interesting. Really, really interesting.
Yeah,
And it's I guess that's probably the biggest challenge for anyone who's doing it working full time, is like just trying to get that like get to that point where you're kind of sustainable in your channel. That's the break point.
it's definitely harder, and I think that's why you do see a lot of younger people success, like the ones that are like transitioning from high school to college type thing, like that
Yep.
age group. They're the ones that can kind of do it, But like when we're in an age where we've got responsibilities like bills and kids and all that kind of stuff. You don't have that kind of luxury to gamble that extra time on creating content and stuff. And like I admit, like I feel like it's a little bit different because I was doing 100 days content, so I don't even have like I upload monthly, like once a month.
Yep.
So you don't have like like some people can upload daily, and even with full time jobs, they kind of can. Like, it's just you got to find what works, and then that was even trickier. What I'm trying to say, I suppose.
Yeah, well, because you've got to try and you've got to balance the content. You've got the timelines to hit like to do everything to get that monthly upload quota. And I guess a good thing here for younger people who have the time, don't have kids, like you've got so much time to work with. Like I have, like you'll be the same. I've got a young one, and like she takes up so much of my time, and I really wish that like 5 years ago I put more time into doing content. Like I wish I had that time, because the things I could do, like having kids makes you really, really time conscious, so you like become a lot more optimized with the amount of time you've got. I wish I had the same skill set as I did when I was younger.
Yeah.
And so like I talk to some creators, and they're like, they've got all the time, but they're just like, I'm just like, I wish I had what you guys have.
I get angry.
Yeah.
They make me angry. I was like, what do you mean? I was like, you live at home, and you have like no responsibilities, no bills, but you don't have time. How long do
Yeah.
you sleep? What do you mean? You sleep 8 hours? Are you crazy? Get out of here. Like, what are you talking about?
Yeah, like it's actually it's yeah. I feel the same. It's like they'll be like, oh yeah, I didn't have time to do this video. I'm like, what did you do from when you got home from work to when you got to bed? Like you had all that time. Like
Yep.
I get 2 hours a night.
Yep. No,
It-
legit, legit. And kids do make that time harder. I will say though, I feel like for me, I know I get quite distracted, right?
Mhm.
Like, and I get like procrastination, but my kids are my biggest driving force on doing what I do.
Yep.
You know, like because in this game, like you have to be self-disciplined a lot. Like you're
Yeah.
running your own business, you've got to have that kind of discipline to actually push the videos out and get it done. But with I think my kids are my biggest push to get it done.
Yep.
100%.
That's good. I guess it's a good driving force for everyone. And it's one of those things like we talk about it, but you'll never experience it until you're there or you're
Mm,
doing it. But I guess the biggest takeaway from this is if you don't have kids and you've got the time, you don't really have much excuse but to keep like to produce the content. And I know that's a harsh thing to say because I know there's a lot of different things, but like you won't realize how good you've got it until it's not there anymore.
yeah, legit, legitimate, 100%.
So how did you find going through all this with young kids?
Um, oh, that's a good question. I don't know. Like, I think, yeah, again, like having them was just being what they were my biggest driving force. And
Mm,
I was speaking to one of my really close friends about like this, and he had it like we have kids. His kids is just a touch older than mine, and one thing that he said really resonated with me. This was when I was working, so I like to give how do I give this a little bit of backstory is like years ago I used to dance and like compete, and we used to perform and do that, and that was my dream to do that, perform. I love entertaining, that's what I love to do. But
yep.
then I was like, I got to an age where I was like, I can't do this forever. Like, how am I supposed to be sustainable? I had
Mm,
met my girlfriend at the time, we had gotten engaged, and I was like, I can't even give her a wedding, like I can't afford it. So I was like, all right, I need to go get a job. And that's when I started working my job. And then through that, I was like, I hate working for people. I hate doing this stuff. This sucks. I
yeah.
was good at it, but I didn't enjoy it. And I
Mm,
really, really started like hating myself. But that's when my friend, me and my friend we had this conversation about parenthood and stuff. And that's when he said to me, he goes like, how can I, basically, he's like, how can I tell my kids to follow their dreams if I never did? I was like,
mm. I love
damn.
that. I love that. Yeah.
Yeah. That
Yeah.
like hit hard.
Yeah. That resonates with me so much. Like I was back in COVID, I was with my partner and stuff, and I was like, well, I've always wanted to get into content creation back when I was like watching PewDiePie. PewDiePie
Yep.
was like my inspiration to like,
PewDiePie.
yeah, old school days. The montages he used to do. That was like I used to love that shit. And so like back in 2012, 2011, I was like, this is what I want to do, and I was really pushing hard for it then. Um, at the time though, I was living in central Queensland, crappy internet. It was really hard to upload. Didn't have the support around me, so I just kind of gave it up.
Mm,
And it wasn't until COVID, better internet, and my wife who supported me, I was able to upload again. And I thought to myself at the time, I want to be able to do this and like prove to my kids that they can do whatever they want. They can follow their dream. They can do this kind of stuff if they wanted to.
yep.
And I guess until you said it just then, I had forgotten about that. So that's a yeah, it's really good. I like that.
Yeah, I think that's been my driving force for the last, however long.
I love it.
100%. How can you? Yeah, you just gotta prove to. It's just about proving to them that if you really, really put your mind to it, you
Hmm.
can do it. But you got to do it to prove to them.
Right. So kind of going back into content kind
Mm,
of talk. How do you? So I've noticed that you also stream occasionally.
yeah.
So how do you utilize your streaming with your YouTube?
Really, I use my stream as a way to get advice from my viewers on how to do the next thing. That's all it is.
Yep.
Because I wouldn't say like I don't really invest a lot of like proper time into taking streaming seriously. Although I'd love to. Like, and a lot of people kind of get weirded out because they do see there's a quite a bit of a disparity in numbers, right? Like my videos get pretty good views, a couple 100,000 views.
Yep.
Where on my stream, I'm lucky to get like 20 viewers,
Mm.
10 viewers at sometimes.
How
And
frequently do you stream? Like,
yeah, very like
yeah.
I only stream when I'm making my 100 days videos. So I'll stream for a week and then you won't see me for a month. Like, yeah. So like I know that the strategy and stuff. I just don't. I'm not like there. But when I do stream, my whole thing is like, wait, how do I do this? How do I do this, guys? What about this? Do you reckon this would be a cool idea for the video? And that's all I'm doing the entire time.
Yep.
And then yeah, my viewers that are there, like, oh yeah, this is how you do that. That's how you do that. And they literally just help me make my video. Yeah.
Mm.
And it's also like I enjoy it because even my community that comes in, like I enjoy catching up with them and
Yep.
just having a chat. Like I like that. That kind of stuff. Yeah. And sometimes we get some funny clips that I might post online or whatever. Some
Yeah.
shorts and
But
whatnot.
streaming essentially is for you, it's more of the tool to help you build your videos. It's not really something that you like, I guess, depend on or rely on.
Yeah, no, not at all. Streaming is not. Yeah, it's
Mm.
not anything like financially. Like, I'd make okay money on streaming, but nothing like.
Yeah. It's not
Yeah, I
your,
don't.
it's not your focus.
Nah, not at all. It would be cool. I think streamers have a fun time because I think streamers get to play a lot more games than I do,
Yeah.
which it looks fun. I
I
get
guess
jealous.
there's a trade-off there.
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah. So if you were giving advice to someone who's just starting out,
yep.
would you recommend streaming or
Uh,
YouTube? Well, like,
well,
sorry, I shouldn't say YouTube, like streaming or like VOD content.
I think it's one of those things that if you're starting out, you should start out where you think you can last the longest and do the longest. But I look at a lot of streamers and I'm like, man, you guys are doing it all wrong. Because every streamer should be doing some sort of VOD content as
Yep.
well, whatever that is. And it's not hard. And even the minimum, and not that I think it's a great strategy really, but as the very base minimum, streamers should be reposting their full VOD on
Yep.
YouTube. Base minimum. The people that don't do that, I'm like, what? Like you're not even giving yourself a chance.
Yeah, you're wasting that VOD. Like it's
Yes.
gone.
Like it's useless on Twitch. It's useless.
Yeah.
And then streamers should be this day, especially for growth, should be utilizing multi-streaming 100%.
Yeah.
Multi-streaming is just too goated. Like it's a great way to grow. Like Twitch just doesn't give you the tools to grow, but like YouTube does, even TikTok to some extent. But you've got to learn. And then I think I think VOD. I see personally, it's hard, right? So I think streaming has good longevity if you build it up. But so if you want to hit full time and start earning a bit of money, I think it's easier and quicker to do it on YouTube.
Yep. See, I think a good strategy, I've kind of just been thinking about it, and it's hard for me to talk about successful strategy because I'm not in any way that successful. But I think my new strategy or how I'm seeing other people do it is YouTube VODs content first to grow an audience. And once people kind of have some kind of, you have the authority and people are there for you, then you can start going live because you'll have people more likely to view your audience. You have an audience that are more likely to view you. And I guess then it's about finding the balance between the two. But I think VOD is where you're going to get your growth.
Yep.
Your quick growth.
100%. I think if you're time poor, like most people are, utilize the hell out of TikTok and YouTube Shorts. People aren't utilizing YouTube Shorts, and they're not doing it right. Too many people. YouTube Shorts. Here's the secret. Here's the secret tea. YouTube Shorts really favor at the moment highly edited and highly engaged clips from your stuff. If you're just literally just cutting a piece out and then uploading it, unless you've got some mad value to offer, it's not going to go as well. Edit it up, like make it a bit more engaging. That will work.
I think that's it. I've been using I don't have TikTok anymore. I've gotten rid of it for the last couple of months, which
Good man.
it's actually changed my life.
I'm still stuck on the doom scroll, but yeah.
Oh man,
good on you.
Doom scrolling uses. I actually use chess to get me out of the habit. So instead of opening up for TikTok, I'd play chess instead.
Good idea.
I still have YouTube, but YouTube Shorts aren't nearly as good. And I think the reason why the highly edited YouTube Shorts do well is because most of the content that I'm getting served on YouTube is like trash AI content that's just horrid.
Yeah.
It's bad. Like I can't get hooked on YouTube Shorts because most of the content's terrible.
Yep.
It's very interesting. So I guess if you're creating good polished content on YouTube Shorts, it's probably going to cut through the most of it.
Yeah. Yeah. I've been experimenting with it a little bit on another channel. And then yeah, I've definitely seen a big difference between highly edited and I think offering value is a big thing too. So I was experimenting with a few things like I think people on YouTube Shorts really appreciate like did you know? Did you
Mm,
know X or top 5 X? And they're really quick things to script. And
yep.
you get like have like a fun little opinion about some stuff too. If you're into a
Mm,
video game and like top 5 Sonic characters and why they're better than this and why I like this. That's it. Couple little chops and some sound effects. You'll have a good one. And there's a few outliers that are on that are doing killing it on YouTube Shorts. That I did a bit of math. They're making some money
yeah.
just
Right.
from Shorts.
Yeah. Wow. So I guess the main thing at the moment is YouTube Shorts don't really pay that well normally. But I
Not
guess
normally, but it's a lot. Yeah, if you know the strategy, like, yeah, there's a few people that are outliers. Like there's an Australian guy. His name's Bundun. You ever look him up? He's like an outlier kind of guy that grew just by doing the simplest stuff, highly edited, like crazy type content. And
yep.
he like, so I remember like looking at the math and like for an example, he's probably on 25 cent RPM. Anybody knows his 25 cents per thousand, and
That's
he's
pretty good.
getting somewhere like 10 to like 50 million views a month.
Holy crap.
Yeah,
That's
so I
amazing.
worked out somewhere he'd probably be earning 5 figures a month just from YouTube Shorts.
That's impressive.
Yeah,
So I
yeah,
guess it is worth having a look at.
yeah,
Looking into it. I always kind of look at it and go, "Oh, is it worth the effort?" Because like the amount of time it takes for me to make a YouTube short, I think it's probably balancing how much effort you put into it. Because like you could over edit a video like a
yeah,
short that's like 10 seconds long,
yeah, yeah, yeah,
like it does nothing.
yeah, yeah, yeah. You
It's all
can.
about that balance.
It is. It's a tricky one, and you just got to find what really works for you,
Yep.
and like what really tickles your fancy as a viewer and as a creator.
Mm. All right. So coming back into YouTube, the 100 days content.
Mhm.
So what kind of led you into wanting to do that?
I saw it work
Yep.
in a game that I enjoy. That was literally it. I always wanted to be a creator, and I saw the outlier. There was a guy named Zanny Zebra
Hmm.
who created a 100 days video in Arc, and his first video, and he'll know, even if he watches this, he'll know the video was ass. Like, but not his edit, just
Yep.
like the quality of like I think he did it on like Xbox or something, like the
Mm.
recording. But in saying that, he is genuinely quite entertaining. So that
Yep.
was, but he probably, I think he had like no, like he made 100 subscribers and he blew up to 100,000 subscribers with like 2 videos.
Wow. That's
Yeah.
pretty cool.
So I was like,
Yep.
oh my God, he's just, and then he dropped that video, like, and I saw it the first week. And then another guy called TDS, the Trees, dropped a video. And I was like, he blew up. I was like, holy crap, there's something here.
Yep.
This is an outlier. I need to jump on this because one, I know the game Arc. I've been playing it for a while. And two, I know how to edit. Like this format's pretty well done. So,
Yep.
and I had previously watched a lot of Minecraft 100 Days videos, which is
Yep.
everyone knows Minecraft 100 Days. If you don't, you're crazy. There's a guy named Luke the Notable, guy that kind of created the trend originally.
Yep.
I've watched a ton of his videos and he's a great creator. So I kind of knew how to I knew how to format this, and I kind of had the skill set to do it. So I was like, I could do this, and I could probably do it in my inflated ego at the time. I could probably do this better than these guys. So I was like, I'm
I mean,
gonna do it. Well, that's another rule.
you gotta have it. Yeah.
That's another rule. I always, if you can't be first, you've got to be better.
Yep.
That's another thing in YouTube. If you can't be first, you've got to be better.
And then
That's the
most
way.
most of the times you can't be first. Like,
No,
yeah, your inspiration usually comes from somebody else doing it.
exactly. So be
Yeah.
first or be better, and that's the easiest key to like find success. But yeah, I saw it work, and I was like, I can do this. Oh, and then then work was like, hey, then COVID is like lockdown. I was like, oh, this is convenient. I was like, all right, sweet, bet. Let's just pump a video out. And I just raced. I just raced to try and get this video done because it still took me maybe 3 weeks in
Yeah,
lockdown to try and
long
edit
time.
this and put it all together. And there was a few skills that I was still learning and like a couple little edits that I was trying to work out. Um, and then yeah, I remember I hit the upload button. I was like shaking. I was like, I worked really hard on this. This is the hardest video I've ever worked on. I've never done something like this before. I was like, holy crap. Upload, and then I went to bed. I woke up the next day, had 5,000 views, and a couple
Wow,
hours later had 10,000 views. And
that's
every
so
time
good.
I'd refresh, there was new views, and I'd never seen something like that before. I was so used to being like, all right, I'll upload a video the next day. Oh, I was like, I got 19 views. How cool is that?
Yep.
Whereas now you're looking at thousands of views and you're like, holy crap, it just keeps going. And I was like, oh my God, there's comments. I'm trying to reply to all these comments. I was like, what the hell is happening? Like, this is crazy.
Yep.
I was like, oh my God, we've done something. And then this was like maybe like a Friday or something. And then maybe the Monday, I got the you can be a YouTube partner. I was like, oh my
No
God.
way. That's so
Yeah, I was
good.
like, holy crap. Yeah, and my video had already hit like 30,000 views by the time I'd done that. So I had to like apply, and then I think it hit like 40,000 views before I got accepted or something, or 50,000. I was
Yeah,
like, I had all those views. I was like, no, not monetized or anything, but I was like, damn, but it doesn't matter. I was still
yeah,
excited that it happened.
yeah. And then you had the right formula for your next video, and
Yeah.
then yeah, you just keep doing it.
Well, I
So
did. Yeah.
100-day videos though, like it's been how long has it been since you did that first one?
August 2021, maybe?
So it's been a few years now. Do you still think they are as successful as they were back then? Because there's a lot of it now.
For me, no. But for
Mm,
other creators, yes.
okay. Have you thought about like changing the idea or like changing the game?
I have tried. I have
Mm,
tried. Oh, the game, yes. The game I've done, like it's such a hard thing, and it sucks because it's worked for a bunch of other creators, like them moving into different games and whatnot.
yep.
Um, but yeah, not so much for me.
Yeah.
Yeah, I hadn't been as fortunate. But I have had I've had a Conan Exiles 100 Days do pretty well.
Yep.
I've had a couple little outlier videos. Actually, no, that's a lie. I've had some videos do pretty well, but
Yep.
comparatively, probably not as well.
So I think I've thought about this a lot, and I think this is a bit of a trade off with being full time. So like for myself, like I do Baldur's Gate videos, and my Baldur's
Yep.
Gate videos that have done really well are I play through the game as a full party of something, and I'm
Yep.
just kind of going through that. Now I don't have a massive audience. I've got 3,000 subscribers now,
That's massive.
and I mean it's growing, but most of my subscribers come from Baldur's Gate. And
Mhm.
so if I wanted to do something else, I've got to build a new audience for that something else, right? So you've got just shy of 500,000 at the moment
What?
on YouTube subscribers.
100,000, 100,000,
Oh,
100,000.
sorry,
I wish.
100,000.
Yeah.
So 100,000. So majority of those, I'd imagine, are probably Arc
Yeah.
enjoyers.
Yeah.
So like,
Yeah.
if you make a video that's not Arc, they're probably not as interested, and the algorithm's probably not going to serve it to them.
Yep.
So you've got to then build a new audience for them.
Yep.
And so, do you feel that you're kind of locked into Arc
Yep.
because of that?
100%. I tried veering away. That's why we're like experimenting now with the 3-in-1 formula. So 3 arc, one variety, 3 arc, one variety. Still sticking
Yeah.
with 100 days because that's
Yep.
just like
What
we're gonna
people
try
know
and keep
for.
that, and then try and taper that to like 2 and 2, and
Mm.
2 and 3, 1 and 3. Yeah, so we're gonna go with that formula to try and work. So currently, right this second, just before we jumped in the call, I'm editing a Fallout 4 100 days.
Ah, cool. Yep.
Yeah.
Just to
So
help
like,
build it. Are you gonna change that third game frequently, or are you gonna like
yeah,
stick with one?
no, variety.
Variety.
It'll be something that just excites me.
Yep.
Yeah, it's more so like a thing for me.
Yeah. Well, I completely get it.
Yeah.
Because like I've played a lot of Baldur's Gate, and I've got a very short attention span. Like so, for me to keep doing Baldur's Gate, it's really difficult. So I think it's important to do something different.
Yeah,
But I
100%.
also think I would like to build another audience before I get full time, so I don't get
Yeah.
stuck. Because I think that would be a very stressful experience.
Horrendously, especially because I tried like a year or two ago. I was like, nah, I'm done with Ark. I'm so burnt out with it. So
Mm.
I literally went hard dropping like I probably did like four videos that weren't arc,
Mm.
and like they didn't like they it's hard, right? It's all about perspective.
Yeah.
Like they didn't perform as good as arc. And so here's the way I look at things, just to give the audience a little bit of an idea. I don't like it's not the views that I worry about. Is this going to pay the bills?
Mm.
So when I say something's not performing well, it's just because it's not paying the bills.
Yeah,
Like I
because
need
I
to,
guess that's at your point, at your level where you're doing it full time and you're actually dependent on it.
yeah,
That's where it's, I guess, becomes stressful. And
yeah,
I know a lot of
100%.
people say, "Oh, don't focus on the money." When you've got a family and it's your full time thing, you're kind of, I guess, you've got to.
Yeah, no, 100%. And I think anybody that's quite reasonable would understand that, right? Like,
Mm.
yeah, like I have kids, I have a wife, like I've got bills that need to be paid. The economy sucks at the moment, and a lot of people do get caught up in they see the big dogs, earning massive amounts of money. Like the YouTube economy has a middle class. Like we
Yeah,
exist. There's a lot of creators that just live in the middle class. Like not every creator is mega Mr. Beast millionaire. Like
yeah,
that's yeah. Like there's a lot of people. Like I probably earn uh, what the average like salary is in Australia. Like I don't earn absorbent amounts of money. Like that's
mm,
yeah, not so that's why yeah, definitely it does it does affect my decisions when I have to make videos. Like
yeah.
is it going to pay the bills? Is a big thing. I know that there's a passion element to it, but at the end of the day, my kids need to eat. Like,
So I guess having that strategy. This strategy, have you like I guess you've heard it from other people. Do you find it's working at all?
the 3-in-1.
Yeah.
Yeah. There's a good friend of mine. His name's Crowmeter. He implemented that. He's killing it. Me and him were actually like the rivals. We called ourselves because we both dropped our first 100 days at similar times,
Yeah.
and we started growing like at the similar times.
Mm,
And then he just started implementing really good strategies, and he's now at like 300 and something thousand subscribers. He's pulling like a million views a video. Like
yeah.
the dude is absolutely killing it. But it was
Yeah.
cool. We just got to meet for the first time in Norway, which was pretty
Oh,
cool.
that's really cool. Yeah.
Yeah. So that was really cool. But yeah, no, like stoked for him. Really stoked for him. There's a few creators that I'm really happy for that were winning it. But yeah.
Yeah.
So yeah,
Well,
that it worked for him. The strategy.
I think that's a good strategy for anyone at any level to probably start implementing,
Yeah.
because you'll probably find your base content, like the thing that you enjoy, and the way YouTube likes is it will serve it to that same people all the time because
Yeah.
of the keywords and stuff like that. I find that with Boulder Skate. Like if I post anything that's not Boulder Skate, nobody sees it.
Yeah.
And so like I can imagine on the highest scales how it works. Even like when I did the interview with Jawoodle, he said same thing. Like he does 7 days to die. He loves the game, but he can't do anything else. It
Yep.
just doesn't show it. So I think maybe the earlier you start doing that, the better, because then
Yes.
you're not going from 100,000 level to trying to build up a new one. You're doing
Yep.
it from like you're splitting your audience from the earlier days, and it might be easier.
Yeah. I can't even do arc videos that aren't 100 days.
Yeah. Wow.
I've done alternate stuff, and they've not done well. So I've got a second channel that I basically call my passion project, and
Yep.
that's where I upload stuff that I have. Like I just enjoy the process of creating.
Yeah.
So that's where I upload stuff that I just kind of enjoy, or an idea that I had that I really want to upload, or vlogs and stuff.
Do you find posting stuff that's not 100-day content? Do you find that affects your algorithm?
Mm, it's weird, right? Because like, if you asked me that a year or two ago, I would have said, yeah, it affects it 100%.
Mm.
But if you ask me that now, I don't know. The algorithm changes so
Yeah.
much that it's weird. So, for example, I just uploaded a Dune Awakening playthrough, and not that it's done amazing. Like I think it's sitting at like 6,000 views, and again, perspective. Like to
Yep.
me, that's not
But it's a
amazing.
playthrough video, not a 100-day video. So
Yeah, and
yeah,
it's not done amazing, but I've looked at the algorithm and it hasn't seemed to affect anything else. So all
yeah,
my other videos are still tracking it normal, and that video sits in a different shelf. It's recommended is
yeah.
completely different. So yeah, I think YouTube's getting a little bit better in that sense.
Because like
I think they're a while away though.
I think because like a year ago or so, like everyone was the big recommendation was like different channels for different types of content, right? It was
Yeah.
like, okay, you want to have a channel for your VODs, you want to have a channel for your 100-day content, you want a
Yep.
channel. And so like all these creators have multiple channels. I even set it up. But just at starting this year, so I've got my Baldur's Gate playthrough videos, which they're getting really good views, like up in the thousands. But then like I was like, all right, well, I'm gonna post a Baldur's Gate playthrough video, which is like a 2.5 hour long video, minimal editing, and see how that goes. And it got like 6,000 views. And I was
Oh,
like, well, that's not bad. I didn't put any effort in. I just posted it. People were commenting, they loved it. And I was like, it's not doing so. Then this is where your perspective thing comes in. It's like it's not it's not 100,000, but it's still way better than I
yeah.
was expecting for the type of for how little. Not, I shouldn't say little effort, but the effort I put in
Mm.
and the output from it, I was like, okay, well, this isn't too bad.
Hmm.
So maybe it's changing a little bit. It's like being more selective within your channel.
Yeah. I wouldn't be surprised if the algorithm's heading towards more of a TikTok style thing because they see that TikTok, everyone knows that TikTok has a great algorithm and they always
Yeah,
have. Where TikTok is scrutinizes each video versus the channel.
yeah,
I think there is probably still like a correlation because I think the audience really is the one that chooses in the end. And
yeah,
excuse me, if they've got the trust with the channel, that you're obviously going to get there. But I think it'll definitely that algorithm will definitely change up a little bit. Maybe the algorithm changes anyway, but
mm,
yeah, I don't know. I've definitely seen a difference this year as opposed to a year and definitely 2 years ago.
yeah.
Where
I'd say, like, probably to your point, like they're probably looking more at the video's merits
yeah,
and then pairing that with the audience that'll watch it
yeah,
better. So
yeah,
like
yeah,
there are people who will watch playthrough content out there. Like you know, there's streamers who upload VODs and they're getting hundreds of thousands of views.
yeah,
So it's definitely there. And so obviously people are watching my Baldur's Gate playthroughs, but
mm,
they might not necessarily be the same people that will watch my highly edited videos.
yeah.
And so maybe having a balance of both could potentially work within one channel in this year.
I think catalog is a big thing too because I still know that session times matter. And if people aren't too familiar with session times, it's basically when someone clicks on one video, watches a big chunk of it, if not all of it, and then goes to your channel to watch more of your videos, and that's considered a session time. So if more people will watch multiples of your video in one session,
Yep.
then the algorithm definitely favors your channel. So that's why it can be a little bit, especially when you're doing variety, adding other stuff in, it can be a little bit off-putting for like the algorithm because they're like, oh, they enjoyed this video, but they're not going to watch anything else. So,
Yeah.
like for example, I know I do all right. So, like my catalog of 100 days videos, I got videos from 2 years ago that still get views now.
Yeah.
And so, like I know that my whole thing is just 100 days stick. So, yeah, that they kind of like will
So
cycle
you've got
through
like
that.
so you get like a new viewer come in, they've got lots of content to get through, and so like that's just going to keep recommending the content. So I guess for someone new, just pumping out a whole bunch of videos so that there's a catalog
Yeah,
of videos for someone to watch, that'll help in the long run.
catalogs are that's the other part about YouTube over streaming is like in terms of money, like I'm earning money when I sleep. I'm earning
Mm.
money when I go to lunch. I'm earning money when I'm on the toilet. Like it's
Yeah.
constant.
Yeah.
Streaming you actually have to be live.
Yeah, you know, unless you're live, and that's probably comes back to post your vods up.
Yeah, 100%. I like anything, a little snippet. If anybody clips your stuff, even Twitch has an integrated thing now that it'll do the edit for you. It
Mm.
literally take you 30 seconds. If someone's clipped your thing, someone finds it funny, go into the Twitch editor thing and then edit it, and they can share it straight to your thing.
Yeah,
No one has any excuses these days. You're crazy if you think you do.
yeah. I think another one that I've just recently discovered with my playthrough that I've been doing is that playlists are pretty important.
Oh yeah,
I haven't really put much emphasis on playlists. I'd make a playlist just to group everything together, but I didn't realize how important they were, especially for playthrough content. Because when you search a playthrough, playlists come up in the search results.
yeah,
And
yeah,
so I was
yeah,
like, oh, I need to SEO my playlists.
yeah.
And since I started doing that, my Baldur's Gate current playthrough has actually been getting lots of views through the playlists.
Yeah, because you can see the analytics on the actual playlist. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
That's sick. That's
Yeah.
amazing. Yeah, yeah.
So I guess the other thing is like, so, you know, thumbnails and titles are important for videos, but they're also important for playlists, like
Yeah.
update them.
Yeah, I think people like everyone looks at all the obvious stuff, but if you find those little outlier things like playlists and how do you utilize that better, or
Mm,
Reddit's a good little thing too.
Reddit.
Reddit, yeah, yeah. So you find the community, if the community, but I would check the community first because some can be pretty toxic. But like check the community and then just post your videos on in their community boards, and then yeah, they can
If
be
they're
it can be good too because I've posted videos before and I've gotten pretty good criticism. I've
Yep.
gotten some ruthless criticism, but yeah, I think Reddit can be a good little place to boost your videos too.
Speaking of ruthless criticism, I always get people like, "Oh, why did you do this specific thing?" And it's like, "Oh, okay, all right. I'm not a pro.
Yeah,
I make videos. That's what I do. I don't play games professionally."
yeah, I think I kind of leaned into that. Like I did that, like that happened for first couple videos, and now I kind of lean into it more.
Yeah,
So like I play a dinosaur game, and a lot of the dinosaur like names are confusing. So
yeah,
like now I kind of like I might mispronounce some stuff intentionally,
yeah.
and it really riles people up.
It does. So, my very first Baldur's Gate video, um, I think that's what the reason why it did so well is because I mispronounced Mephistopheles. Um, so and it was like I kind of just added a bit of humor into it. So like as I was reading the script, I was like like I was trying to like read it out,
Yeah,
and I was just like, all right. And then as I was editing, I'm like, I'm gonna keep that in because it's funny. And so like, and then there was another one, Shillelagh, which is like a weapon in the game, but
right.
it's pronounced like Shillelagh because it's like Irish.
Oh, right.
And so mispronounced it. I didn't bother looking it up, and everyone's like, "It's pronounced blah blah blah." Like hundreds and hundreds of comments commenting on how I mispronounce it. And the thing is, I could have edited it out. Like I could have
Yeah,
just looked it up, edited out the mispronunciation, and it wouldn't have been an issue. But by simply doing that, the engagement levels were so much higher because people want to correct you and want to be right.
yeah,
And so I guess leaning into it, like you say, it's like it helps. It helps.
yeah, yeah, yeah. No, 100%. Lean into the scuff, like and all that kind of stuff. It works
Yeah. Well, I guess
definitely.
everyone wants to be right or share their idea, and I guess it all helps in this kind of stuff.
Yeah, like I think there's like I don't know the word. I'm thinking rage bait, but it's not really the word. But like there's like the bad end of the rage bait that we all
It's
know
more
people do.
engagement baiting, I guess
Engagement
you could.
baiting,
Yeah.
yeah, yeah, yeah. But then like yeah, like it's funny too. 'Cause, like I know for me, a lot of it's genuine. Like I start like like Dilophosaurus. Like what the
Yeah.
frick, bro? Like there's one I don't even know how to say it. It's Menagamama. I call it the Madagascar, and everyone knows. I don't know how to say it. Like Managama. I call it the
Yeah.
Madagascar, and everyone knows. Like
Yeah.
everyone just knows what I'm talking about immediately. And like, but yeah, some people get angry.
It's just become part of the language that you have within
Yeah,
the with your audience. And I think that's an important thing. Like people get that. And I also think it's really good to have that level of one to be like humble enough to just accept it, but like that I think that's genuine. Like I think it's good
yeah.
to have that genuine feeling in it because people kind of appreciate that. They don't want high polished stuff all the
No,
time. They want
yeah, 100.
because they themselves, like everyone's not perfect, and so I
Mm.
think seeing somebody else who's like not perfect, I think it helps them be more related to.
No, 100%, 100%. I don't make my videos to be because I'm a pro Arc player. I
Yeah,
just like to play and try and entertain and have a bit of fun while doing it. Like,
yeah,
yeah, I'm not trying to be a professional in paleontology or anything. Like, it's not my
yeah.
interest.
No, that's cool. All right, so for someone who's getting started in YouTube,
Mhm.
what would be the most important piece of advice you could give someone that helps in your YouTube growth or it can help in their YouTube growth?
Yeah, for sure. What is the most important advice? Study,
Mm,
watch what's happening now. Um, do whatever you're doing, like do something that you feel like you can still do in 5 years time. Whatever you
mm.
start now, like how can you do that? um Understand, okay, like shucks, where to start? I feel like I've got a lot of things I could say. I think there's two parts of YouTube content. You're either an educator or an entertainer.
Yeah.
Find out where you fit in either one of those.
Mm,
Sometimes there's a small mix of both, but you're either educational or entertainment, and then work out where you are from there, and then don't deviate from that. Secondly, work out what you're going to do, start doing, and can you do that forever? Can you do that for a very long period of time if you want to do this as a career? I assume we're talking about like people that want to go full time and be a career, because there's a difference. Like there's people that want to just do it for fun and upload and chill. Great, that's fine. I think I'm speaking more to the people that want to have a career in this or have some longevity
Yep.
in this. I think if you're passionate about it, yes, and understand your why and use that. Like I don't have it up now because I kind of just moved here, but I had a vision board and I always try to tick that off. So I when in 2019 on my vision board, oh, I wish I had my vision board here. I had a picture of a silver play button. That was
Yep.
my goal, and I was like, I had 100 subscribers at the time. I was like, maybe one day I'll get a silver play button.
There it is.
There it is. Like I've got it. Like, and I remember like over this. So I think for me, my first big accomplishment was 1,000 subscribers, and then 100,000 subscribers. That was like the biggest. And this was like I never thought I was ever going to get this for real, but I had a goal to achieve that.
Yeah.
And I think like those kind of goal settings are really important, and then keeping that vision like clear. Moving forward. Outliers. Look
On that
Yes, go.
note, do you think aiming at subscribers is as important?
Nah, it never was and never nah, not at all. It's purely vanity. Subscribers subscribers don't mean much.
That being
Except
said,
like
though, so like there's a couple of things. So like I always get told, and all the advice is don't worry about subscribers because they don't mean anything. It is vanity.
Yeah.
But I still believe it's a good goal because it helps you kind of track your overall
yes.
progress.
Yep.
Like if you're gaining subscribers, that means, and it's concurrent, it means that your videos are performing overall.
100%. No, yeah, you're definitely reaching. Yeah, no, it's good in that sense, 100%, and it's great for brands. Brands look at that stuff, and I suppose there is like a business side of it too that works. Like I know that. So, like for example, like here's a financial set. I made probably 3 times more amount of money than I'm making now when I had 20,000 subscribers. That like on a money side of things, it doesn't mean much.
Yeah.
But
Okay.
I know I do get more brand deals now. I do get a few extra perks. Like I know that like gaming companies will send me keys daily
Yeah.
to games. Like there are those kind of things. But in terms of like your overall success, it is vanity to an extent. What you said is 100% right. Yeah. But like all I cared about was that.
Yeah.
That's all I cared about was the play button. Like I just wanted the play button. Like the rest, that was it. Like I'm good now. Like millions like would be cool too. But yeah, I'm still, like I'm good. Like that's cool.
You're pretty content now.
Yeah, it was really a thing for me. I had that on my goal list. That was it. Yeah.
Yeah. But well, I mean, ultimately, it still led you to where you are.
Yeah.
Now, like aiming at that goal has still got you to where you are now.
Yeah.
Because you can't get the 100,000 subscribers without making the good videos.
Yeah.
Like, so I guess it's still a good goal, but it's not like you don't want to just like subscribe bait to get subscribers because you need the views to back it up.
Yeah, I don't even really use the subscriber call to action anymore. If anything, I'll try and like divert people to other platforms.
Okay.
Instagram, Twitch mainly. That's I'd rather do that than grow my subscriber count because
good to know.
Yeah.
So what was so you had something else that you were going to say?
More advice. I'd probably say look at outliers again, like I mentioned earlier. Look at the outliers, the small channels that are doing something that's popping off, and breaking that down. Why are they doing it? Is it them that's making the difference? Is it the subject that's making them pop off? Is it the way their content's produced? Is it the thumbnails? What is it about them that's making them pop off?
Yeah. And
then breaking that down. So for example, I'll study. I try and spend 2 hours a day studying.
Wow.
YouTube. Looking for outliers, I look at the top dogs and break down what they're doing. So even this day and age, even though like, for example, Laserbeam is one of the biggest creators in Australia, every Australian creator at least knows who Laserbeam is. One thing that he does that I think is super underrated, his editing style is top notch. Like
Mm.
the way he actually edits and the way he uses audio. Like if anybody ever gets a moment, sit there and watch 3 minutes of his videos, and you'll know his pacing is amazing, his humor is really amazing, but his the way he edits is like top tier. Like, and the way he puts his music is actually probably one of his biggest best points that people I think is quite underrated. The way he utilizes audio is, I don't know anybody even like better than Mr. Beast. Like I think he does it the best. Is
Wow.
Laser Beam. Like the way
Okay.
he utilizes audio and makes those sounds fit the emotion of each scene and how he
Yeah.
makes that transition. He does really well. Another top person that I think is a really good person to study that I think is super underrated is probably Loser Fruit.
Yep.
She is just a workhorse. Like if you actually look at the amount of content she produces, I mean the amount of like brands she works with, like I think I would almost go to say that she's somewhat underrated, even though she's super popular, super underrated. And they're the
Yep.
top dogs that I think like, and I don't look at them of like what they're doing and that stuff. I just look at like Loser Fruit's behind the scenes of like what she must be doing behind the scenes and how her business operates because what
Yep.
she's doing is dope. And
Yep.
then Lennon's editing style, and then you look at like see like then you like I'm using Australian because I know most of the people that probably watch this are Australian content
Yep.
creators and stuff. Like the boys, right? The boys, how has their come up? They created something that was very different because they utilized VR to showcase their personalities. Then they built them. Now they are personalities in themselves. So they
Yeah.
did that, and they were quite popular. VR, you couldn't do that now. I don't think you could jump into the VR niche and
I think
pop off.
VR's kind of died off a little bit these
Yeah,
days.
but
Mm.
like what they utilized Outliers. They were first and
Yep.
best.
I
They
guess
did that.
so. One piece of advice that I like doing when it comes to coming up with ideas is like you look at two different things, and
Mm.
then you push like meld them together to come up with
Mhm.
like an idea. So like you took the 100 days content and you're like, I'm going to apply this to Arc
Mhm.
essentially. Even though you probably weren't the first to do it, you still kind of combine those ideas. I took I took the idea of doing a challenge thing like the 100 days, and then I applied it to how I like wanted to play through Baldur's Gate, and I did the
Yep.
same video type, but and then just applied it in a different way to tell the story.
Yeah.
So I think that if you can do that with the thing that you're really interested in,
Yep.
I think that's the most like the best way to come up with these ideas. You just combine two different ideas, and that's something unique.
100%. So if I broke down everybody that inspires me and you watch my video, you'd be like, "Oh my god, you are a mix of all of them."
Yeah,
So like I do my intros now, I do green screen and I'll have a microphone.
yeah, I've seen. Yeah, yep,
I got that from Forge Labs. He's another 100 days creator, Minecraft. He does that, and then a Rust creator called Throat. They do it really, really well.
yep,
And then there's a few Fallout creators that do that really well. But
yep.
my biggest inspiration for like the body of my videos is an Australian content creator called Modest Pelican. He is, for me personally, the funniest MFO I have ever listened to. His stuff's super edgy, and I think my stuff has gotten a little bit edgy too because of it. But
Mm,
the way that he story tells and the way I call it skewed perspective storytelling,
okay.
where you see a scene, but you try and skew the perspective of what's actually happening in that story to make it into a joke.
Ah, okay.
Yeah, and you'll make that into something funny. Modest Pelican just does it the best. And I've met him a few times, and I just told him straight up, I was like, bro, when I'm stuck on a joke, I just watch a couple of your videos, and I know I'll come up with it. I'll come
That's
up
actually
with something.
something I want to do more is of to be funnier
Yep.
is watch more comedians.
Yeah.
Because I love comedy,
Hmm.
but recently I haven't been watching as much, and I think I need to do that to kind of get some inspiration for
100%. There's
just
so many good
humor.
comedians. Matt Rife, Theo Vaughn, and then you've got the creators, Modest Pelican's amazing. There's so many funny people out there. There's so much funny content that you can watch and use
Mm,
and utilize and try and play with and have some fun with. 100%.
cool. All right, so I know I probably should have given you homework for this, but you probably already know. What are your top five pieces of advice for new creators?
Top 5 pieces of advice for new creators. Again, I think I've just smashed this word so many times. Is study the outliers. It just
Yep.
works. Um, Understand yourself. We're pretty much just summarizing everything I basically said. Yeah, understand yourself and like what you think you can actually do for over a long period of time.
Hmm.
Um, be patient. Like, understand if you really want to do this, like, understand that the glitz and glamour is there, but it's also really not. Like, I could sit here now and I could sit here for 10 minutes and sell it to anybody how amazing my life is. But then I could give you 3 minutes and you won't want to do it.
Yeah,
Like, you'll be like, oh
yeah.
no, that's way too hard.
Well, it is.
Um,
It's a lot of work. Like it's so much.
I work more hours now than I did when I was working a full time job.
Mm,
100%. It's like so many people do get caught up in this whole idea of like, oh, I'm going to do it so I can live my life how I want. No. Nope. I'm 7 days a week, 12 hours a day,
yeah.
easily. Um, that was four pieces of advice. Um, the quote that I live by is study the great and become greater.
I love that. That's great.
Michael Jackson. That was a good one that I live by. And uh, shucks, like I think it's one of the. It's a bit like I think so. Like a lot of people, I watched your Fizzy one recently, and man, that
Yeah.
dude is just so clever. I
Yeah.
think like go and watch that one. That dude knows his shit, and he's been around long enough to really know his stuff.
Yeah.
Um, I think the last one, just to try and be a little bit different than most people's questions and answers, is like don't lose you.
Mm,
I think a lot of people, as they grow, start losing themselves just because they get caught up in wanting the views,
yeah.
wanting the clout, wanting that attention. Don't lose you. It's not worth it in the end. Like, I think there's only like two people that I know that I think that are at the top of the game that I feel like might not be. I think they are them really, but they put on a character that are doing okay, and that would be Kai Cenat and Aisho Speed. I
Mm,
like what they're doing, but I think there's a lot of people that are really at the top of their game that just aren't them. They're
yeah.
doing it, for the
They're putting
clout.
on like a face.
Yeah, or maybe Sidemen are probably a good example of who's
Mm,
quite genuine. I think KSI toes the line sometimes, but
yeah.
yeah, I think just be you. Don't lose you because yeah, you don't want like this ends eventually, and when that ends, who are you going to be?
Mm, powerful. Cool. All right. Lastly, what's something that you want to do better with, or like learn about yourself,
Ooh, oh
or
man,
learn more of?
how much time we got? We got another. Man, what's something I could want to learn about myself or do more? I think just being better in every aspect of my life and stuff that I'm passionate about. Being a better father, I
Mm,
think is always something that it's like like you're a dad, like being a better husband
mm,
in a personal level. I suppose in a content level, I am. It's hard, right? Again, perspective. People will look at me and go, "Oh, he's got 100,000 subscribers. He gets a couple 100,000 views a video. He's killing it."
yep.
But I don't feel like I am.
Yeah.
And I suppose my wife brings this up quite a bit, where she's like, "You're never going to be happy, are you?" And I was like satisfied, not happy. That's probably like a bit of a
Yeah.
ruthless,
You'll
like,
never be satisfied with the where you're at.
yeah.
Mm.
And I know it's a problem, but it's also my driving force too.
Yeah. Well, I guess
So
once you become content, like what's going to keep pushing you to keep making new videos and better
yeah,
videos?
I've never ever been satisfied. Like I've got a video now that's just hit 2 million views, and I'm like,
Ooh.
I wish it was three.
Maybe that comes down to like segmenting off your emotions about it.
Yeah,
So, like, every time you get like an outlier video that's like popping off and does really well, you need to like take the time to like just celebrate that and be like,
yeah,
that's so good. I'm so happy with that. That's the best. And then like after a couple of days, go, okay, now how can I make it better?
yeah.
Like just segment those feelings off, like put them in two different
That's a
boxes.
good
Because
one.
if you're look at it and go immediately go, how can I do better? Like you've dismissed the fact that you've just achieved a 2 million view video. Like you dismiss that, and then like you need to like appreciate the success, and then
Yeah.
you can look at the next step.
Well, I think the other part too is like that's like a video is like 2 almost 3 years old, Now I'm
Mm,
always chasing that again. How
yeah.
do I get to that again? I'm not even getting anywhere near it. Like, and then I'd probably less celebrate 100,000 view video where I know that there's people like, I wish I could get 100,000. I know, but like,
Yeah.
again, I don't measure it by the amount of views. I measure it about does it pay the bills?
Yeah.
And unfortunately, 100,000 doesn't really pay the bills, which is weird to say.
Well,
It
maybe
doesn't.
maybe it does come down to just like, I don't know, every now and then take a bit of time to appreciate where you're at and celebrate where you're at, and then you can then look at how can we improve.
100%. Yeah, no, you're right. You're right. 100%. I think I'm just grateful that I'm not selling cars anymore.
I mean, fair. I've done car sales and it's not fun.
No, I
Not
hate it. 7 years of that was hell.
oh, I bet. Cool.
Yeah,
Well,
dude.
Aaron, it's been absolutely amazing having you on today.
Appreciate it, man.
You've got a lot of insight there, and I wish we had a lot more time to talk about it, but we've got to keep these snappy for the algorithm. But no, I really appreciate you being here and sharing your insight with everyone. And
Hey, thanks for
later
having
on
me.
in the future, I'd like to have you on again at some point.
Yeah,
But
brother.
yeah, everybody who's watched this, I hope you've gained something from this. If you have, give the video a thumbs up. Subscribe to the Creative Dashboard if you want to learn more. Go and check out Aaron Aztec's videos. He's an outlier, so learn what you can from his content. He's got some really cool videos, really entertaining stuff on there, so worth having a look. Remember, you don't have to do exactly what he's doing, but learn from the little things, and you can always grow. But yes, thanks again for watching, and thanks Aaron for being here, and we'll catch you next episode. Thank you.